It's not just simply being able to bounce back. It's actually being able to bounce back better. It's not just simply being able to bounce back. It's actually being able to bounce back better.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is AJ Villar of EMD, AIM EMDRCM Cohort 2020. I'd like to start off the night by welcoming you to EMDRCM Live. Tonight's topic will be Education Under a New Norm, a recap of the AIM Virtual Town Hall Part 1. So, for everyone who are online now, please join our Viber community through this link to the link posted earlier tonight. It's tiny URL EMDRCIM Live Viber community. It will be posted later on. So, tonight's topic is a very special topic to everyone right now. It's a hot topic. We have education on fire. We have tonight's guest. We welcome a brilliant group of innovators who have started the movement. The AIM Virtual Town Hall series. It's a series designed to be a platform for concerns to be raised in a community committed to co-creating solutions for everyone. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guests. Let's start off with the head of the AIM Situation Room, Jason Bonaga. He's the Vice President of Public Relations of the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation in the USA. Hi, Jason.
Hello, how are you guys?
Okay. Next, we have a guest, Dr. Anton Lim. He is the co-founder, president, and CEO of Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation in the USA and the Philippines. He's an MBA graduate, batch 2019 from the Ateneo de Zamboanga University. Good evening, Doc.
Hi, good evening, AJ. Nice to be here.
Okay, next on, we have Nikki Ebora, a graduate of the AIM MBA batch 2019. She's the information team lead of the AIM Situation Room. Hi, Nikki.
Hello.
Hi. And lastly, we have Miss Arlene Tan, ME batch of 2018, a senior risk health and wealth management specialist, talent sourcing and training partner of Sun Life Financial. Hi, Miss Arlene.
Hello. Hi. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. So I'm very excited to have all of you as guests tonight because we are going to recap this very special event that we had last Saturday, the AIM Virtual Town Hall Series. Now, this was hosted by the Asian Institute of Management, Ateneo de Manila University School of Government, and the DLSU Jesse Robredo Institute of Governance. And then it was also co-organized by our partners Now You Know and CQ. So, without going further, I'd like to ask our guests, can you tell our audience more about what happened? What is this AIM Town Hall series all about? Maybe Jason can start?
Well, the conversation started with Doc Anton and the head of the Steven Zwillig Developmental Management School, or ZSDM, with Doc Ken Hartigango, about trying to reach more people and to create a bottoms-up approach. What we mean by bottoms-up is many of the webinars or meetings that you see are usually a congregation of experts that talks about key issues regarding about the research that they have based on available data. But as we all know, currently we have a lot of problems in collecting on the ground data or doing, as we call in EMDRCM, a transit walk of many of the indigenous places that you have to go to. So when they were having that conversation, the conversation came up is what if we do a bottoms up approach where we listen to the people who are actually on the ground from the different places all over the Philippines and find the commonality and the challenges of problems regarding issues in the country. And one of them was education. Education was one of the things that was brought up because when we reached out to another partner who is a graduate of Master Entrepreneurship 2018, Arlene Tan, she talked about a lot of the things, the issues that they talk about at her Facebook group called Community Quarantine. And based off that, it just synthesized and coalesced together to the very first town hall that AIM is putting out, which in light of that situation, talks a bit more about the bottoms up approach. And together with the Situation Room, including myself, Nikki, and Wally, we were able to come up with the very first set. Had a lot of growing pains, but it's one of the first of its kind. So thank
It
you.
is, it is. It is one of the first in the Philippines. Now that's a very interesting point. This was something that had a clamor from people. So maybe Miss Arlene would want to share how this clamor from the people came about, maybe through the CQ Facebook page.
Yeah. Okay. We created the group, the community quarantine, last March 12. So initially there were posts about frontliners, people asking for prayers until when after 2 months, the posts became related to education. So whenever somebody announces or shares a link from the media about uh, are the teachers prepared? What will be Ed's action on this? Will we have school or something like that? There were a lot of reactions. And I can see also that me as a parent, I have my own concerns. I share sentiments with other parents who are quite fearful also on how to become teachers to uh, high schoolers. So I think because of my own experience plus the feedback that we receive, we think that education is something that is very important for many parents, many members of the group. Yeah.
I think the reason why it's starting is because there's such an interest is because education comes close to home to a lot of Filipinos, and you see it from in cities, in rural areas, and I'm sure for Doc Anton, he sees it in the areas he visits for Yellow Boat of Hope. What? Sir, you're muted.
You,
Actually, that's the usual clamor on the ground because a lot of their concerns are not transmitted. They've been hearing a lot of uh, solutions like going online, and they were concerned because just the thought of going online is enough to give them a scare because they don't even a lot of them don't even know what going online means. And to them, education has always been face to face. And when this idea was brought out to them, they were very concerned. And even in our pages, you see people asking actually, um, what's happening? What is the latest? Um, what's the latest news on education? What are we going to do? When is the opening? So there's been a lot of different information reaching them. And that's why we thought of doing this bottoms up approach so that we can listen to them and DepEd can focus on their needs. Because as you know, DepEd sometimes focuses on where the mass number is, and rightly so, because you cannot just focus on every small bits. And by doing this, we're giving enough information to DepEd for them to go back to their drawing tables and try to fill in the gaps where there are concerns. And this is very nice because everybody is very excited to help DepEd. We have a lot of foundation, we have a lot of funders who are coming on board and they want to listen because a lot of them they told us that now we have to go back to the drawing board and come
Mhm.
up with education program under the new normal. And this exercise was very useful to them.
That's right. Getting questions from the field, trying to get their insights is very important when it comes to filling in the gaps, because it's really those gaps that don't get any attention. And maybe it's this town hall series, this town hall format that could help. Now, let's share to the viewers what a town hall meeting is really, for those who are unfamiliar. Maybe Nikki or Jason can share.
Uh, a town hall meaning basically means in its essence is you bring together constituents with the people who are governing a local government, and you listen to the grievances, concerns, and issue of a particular urgent matter. In that sense, the way we did it for the AIM town hall together with CQ and now we went towards that same spirit where it really was about inviting the community and hearing and finding out the commonalities of many of the problems and concerns that are arising now with towards this thing called new normal. And the biggest question was not if DepEd is ready, but rather is education ready for it to go back or to start it again for all Filipino, all students and teachers and alike.
Well, it's good that you raised that question, because that was the question that surfaced in the town hall meeting. Is education ready? So, what happened during the town hall series last Saturday? What information were we able to surface?
So from there, I think we were able to compile all of our notes. There were a lot of sentiments that were brought out in the town hall, ranging from the sentiments of parents, are parents ready for the new normal? Are teachers ready for this new normal? Are school administration ready for this new normal? There's even, we also invited guests that represented special education, SPED,
Mhm.
and the from public school all the way up to private school. So we consolidated all of those sentiments, and it seems that we were able to boil down all of the concerns into three main groups. First and foremost was budget and accessibility to materials. So materials, we mean like books, printed materials, not just internet connectivity and gadgets, although by default people seem to go into the topic of internet and gadgets as soon as they hear um, like alternative learning or distance learning.
Mhm.
Automatic they go there, but really majority of our materials are still books,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and printed materials was also a concern. The next major concern was preparedness of parents, as we mentioned. So now that kids are going to be at home most of the time, are parents really ready for that? Parents are also working from home. And is there going to be a clash of schedule? Will I really have enough time to homeschool my kids as I'm working and they are studying on the other side? And then there was one, I forgot which mother mentioned it, but she was a teacher as well, and she realized that even though she was a teacher by profession, she had a difficult time teaching her own kids.
Mhm.
It's quite different when you're teaching somebody else's kid and teaching your own. And finally, yeah, that was it was a fascinating insight. Funny, but it's a reality.
Mhm.
Um, And then the last concern was preparedness for the teachers.
Mhm.
So the teachers right now are struggling to stay relevant in the field because they know how to manage a class. How now do we manage an online class?
Yeah.
It's totally different. Although we seem to think that, oh, it's just the same, just put a classroom on Zoom, it's the dynamics turn out to be quite different, as I've heard from several teachers, not just the ones in the webinar. Their usual complaint is that they're not there to really monitor the kids. The kid might already be struggling, but the teacher doesn't notice because she can't see. It's those little things that we fail to notice that were brought up in the town hall.
You know, as we're speaking right now, I see a lot of nodding from Doc Anton and Mr. Lean. It's because this is an issue that really resonates with many people. And I think that's the beauty of Town Hall. It's because the sentiments are really rooted in the hearts of the audience, of the speaker. Now, any of you can answer, what was the fun part and what was the hard part of uh, bringing this together, bringing the town hall itself together?
Well, I'll keep mine short. On the perspective of as an EMDRCM student, one of the things that the one of the strong point of the program is to create collaborators, uh, in the spirit of collaboration and integrators. With this, one of the easier parts is trying to talk to the different. What the town hall really voiced out was what we did was we democratized the process of trying to air out issues and trying to air out concerns of the constituents, really similar to how town halls are supposed to be conducted, instead of having what we call the stump speeches that you normally see with a lot of the webinars out there. Secondly, one of the things that I loved about really finding out is it's not really enough for us to just integrate or collaborate on issues, but at the same time, really find out on how we can really take ownership of the concerns and issues as AIM is teaching us in the program. And thirdly, there were a lot of growing pains because it's not really have been done before, and it was being you're talking about 22,000 views with 10 panelists from all over the Philippines that were being, put together by 5 people. So within 7 days, it was really a huge undertaking to really come up with a way as a platform to really listen to not only the constituents but listen to the experts, and at the same time take all of that and put it together. So for the town hall that's coming up soon with the survey that we did, thank you for Central Luzon for answering from a lot of the survey questions. We want to give them a shout out, but at the same time, really trying to synthesize that and come up with a way for us to submit to the USEC and to the funders and the reactors that are going to be joining us on the next episode.
You know, as I'm looking at you and looking at all of you, I can see you were all smiling at the experience of bringing this town hall together. How fun was it for you?
It's difficult because everybody have their own challenges, like their Wi-Fi connections, and because we're reaching out to far-flung areas, communities, some are not even familiar with Zoom. Some, we had a lot of technical issues, and we thought we had it covered. But when the day came, we were like, nangangapa pa rin kami. But I was talking with, well, I guess it was last night. We were saying, all this for the kids, para sa mga bata. So that makes it all worthwhile. Just getting from the mouth of the teachers, like, how are we going to grade our students now? I mean, I don't know. That's one of the we were stumped for answers also, because that's gonna.
Well, I imagine that really got our heads, the gears in our heads going, because towards the end of that town hall last Saturday, you can hear the people really wanting to give solutions and wanting to share. What solutions
Yes.
did you hear about?
So
Yeah.
so actually, we were anticipating that. We tried to make sure that the town hall one was strictly for bringing to light concerns and issues that might have been neglected. Although everybody wants to give out a solution, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everybody wants to help, which is great. Can't wait for Town Hall 2, where we will actually explore those solutions. But the few solutions that we encountered, actually, as I said, everybody wanted to help. So almost everybody had a solution. Um, the thing that we need to keep in mind, though, is that there is no blanket solution. There is no cookie cutter solution. One solution in Pasig might not apply as a solution in Bohol, might not apply as a solution in Baguio. It's they have very different concerns in different places. My favorite part was when uh, one of the moms was saying that her biggest concern was internet connectivity, as she was having internet connectivity issues, which
Yes.
proved the point, right?
It
Um,
is.
but it's not necessarily that everybody has that problem. So
That's
you don't really have to give um, a Wi-Fi pocket to every student.
Mhm.
We need to be able to target our solutions for the right audience.
Exactly.
that's
And
true. That's
the
true.
and the Doc Anton can definitely agree with this. Doc Anton coming from the Now You Know and Yellow Bottle Hope Foundation, who have gone. We've gone forth to some of the places where literally teachers would say buwis buhay, that the waves that they're when they're riding one of the yellow boats to get there, even when it's motorized, it really is a very dangerous thing to do. And we're talking about, when it comes to dedication of our teachers, it's beyond reproach. We can't question that, especially the ones that are working in depth ed. But at the same time, when we are hampered by decision makers, to sometimes they fail to see, or they're tone deaf about the solutions that are being implemented at the ground. We forget that as an archipelago, more than 7,000 islands worth of different places to live in. The blanket solution that most people are trying to adhere to, or just like what Nikki was talking about, it's not going to work for a country as robust as us. And it's also one of the things that, interestingly enough, was also surfaced by the town hall, that a lot of the SDGs, or the sustainability development goals that we are trying to achieve here in the Philippines, has surfaced. It surfaced a
Yeah.
lot of the social inequality, the social inequity, and really the whole point of what is education to the person that we're trying to get them to learn. What is the most meaningful way for them to learn that? Because it really shows that education, it not only seems like a privilege here, but it also shows that education is not accessible for every single person that deserves it, or for every single person that we are mandated to serve to.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Right? It reaches out to everyone, and I'm sure it reached a lot of the audience of community quarantine.
Yes.
I suppose, Miss Arlene, a lot of your audience. I
Mhm.
think you got how much? 11,000 views on
Uh,
For that
Saturday.
day, yes, for that day.
that day.
How was it
Yeah.
like for you managing the page, managing the community quarantine community? How was it
Okay.
like having that town hall too?
Arlene,
you know,
okay.
okay, I'll share you my experience with the group. Okay, when Dr. Ken told me that, okay, I'll introduce you to some of my friends, okay, who can help you achieve what you desire. Because as a group, the administrators came up with several action plans. We know that after the community quarantine, the issues would be different. We need to have to live in the new norm. So we said education is one concern, business is another, uh, medicine is also another. But because of the demographics in the group, that there are more female, and there are lots of mothers are in that group. So the concern that we prioritized was education. And then I was surprised when Doc Ken told me that there will be you will be part of the group that will be organizing like this town hall meeting.
Mhm.
Within 7 days, it should be done. So The
Tall
information is
order.
like it's a tall order. So even if I'm at home, I should be wearing like a running shoes to catch, to be at par with the great people here in the room. So this kind of experience really taught us as administrators to really listen to the views of people, how diverse it may be. It may not be the same as how we see things, but if we listen, be open minded, and be collaborative, that's the right word. We can make we can have things done. And I think and I believe that this kind of activity had really allowed people to come out and say, I am willing to help. Whatever I can help, I am ready.
Mm.
And I am so happy that even students, like grade 11 students who are the classmates of my son, was able to view. So I'm sure there are lots of people from other parts of the country, not only parents but grandmothers, baka pati yaya, and even aunties and uncles who would be serving as the homeschool teacher. We know that there are a lot of Filipinos working abroad, and I'm happy to share to you that this was live streamed abroad.
Broad. Really?
OFR is the station. It's an online radio that comes out frequently. The base is in LA. And while we were doing this program, they were there listening and exchanging information. And the audience is, the global Filipino workers. So I could just see how the impact of these kinds of discussions can be for parents who are abroad. Let's say like they are concerned who will be the teachers at home.
Mhm.
They are used to the idea that they'll just send home money and everything is taken care of now. But
Mhm.
the question is, maybe they should also participate
Mhm.
through online conversations with their children.
That's
Yeah.
a very important point, being participative. And I was thinking about the this is a meta question, but I was thinking about the language that we used during the town hall. What part did using English play in communicating to our audiences? Did it make it more difficult? Was it okay? Was it easy? Did it cause problems for your communities, Miss Arlene and Doc Anton? Kamusta
Wala
naman?
naman. Okay naman. I was, while Miss Arlene was talking, I was checking on the number of views. It's about 27,000 right now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Uh,
Wow.
that's about 27,000 views. And if you check, it's not only in the Philippines. We have a lot of viewers also as far as Hong Kong, Singapore. So I guess tama si Miss Arlene. These are OFW parents who are worried about this new norm in education. Anything new is actually uh, very challenging to everyone. Anybody fear change, and some of them would still like to do face to face. You
Mhm.
can see the interaction on the pages. Like there's fear, there's resistance to change, but we have no choice. We have to bite the bullet and try to find a common ground.
Mhm.
But like when we were first thinking of how to do this, our goal was inclusive education. But after hearing all the problems, we're like, how inclusive can we get when in Metro Manila the problem is connectivity, but
Mhm.
just a few steps away in Tondo the problem is the karaoke next door.
Yes, I remember that comment from
So
the
we're
mom
like,
from
yeah,
Tondo.
of course, if you're sheltered, you don't think of that as a problem. Or even our community in Karamoan, they do not even think of karaoke being a they don't have that in the first place.
Oh,
But
I
things
doubt
like that,
it.
it surface. It
Philippines is
surface.
karaoke country.
No, but it's the
I get it. I
houses
get
there
it.
are far from each other. So unlike in Tondo, they said dingdingang ang pagitan namin. So just how to teach your student or your kid in that environment is really uh, difficult. And one of the questions that surfaced was, "Oh, DepEd is ready, but are the parents ready?"
Is DepEd ready?
Yeah, it's
That's a
quite interesting to hear that, you know.
well, you
But
know what? Right now, speaking of getting all of that reach, we this EMDRCM live is being watched in Binyan, Ifugao, Bambang, Capas, in Quezon. So for everyone watching, our panel tonight will be free to ask more. Will be free to answer questions you ask. So go ahead and put in your questions and comments down below, and I'll be reading it out to you later in a bit. Um, it's it. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so well, it's a good thing that we are able to reach out, but and you said there's a lot of fear going on, and that's very true. So what does this town hall? What is the contribution of this town hall to ease that fear? What kind of change will our sessions? Do you foresee our sessions do?
Well, a lot of that fear is actually stemming from essentially fear of the unknown.
Mhm.
So the reason why we did this town hall was that we were all pretty lost in the different messages that the government is telling us that schools are going to be open, but not really. What's happening to face? What are these online classes or alternative learnings? What is distance learning?
Mhm.
So, although you could try to find the most updated policies of DepEd, um, the details do get muddled on the way down, or sometimes not reach to the correct audience at all. Based on our surveys, uh, in fact, although our surveys are still ongoing, I don't know if we'll post a link to it. Our surveys are ongoing. One of the things that struck me when I was monitoring it was that the ones that are least confident in going back to class are not parents, not teachers, not even DepEd. It's students. Students are the least confident in going back to school because it I think that was one of the things that we should have done in the town hall. Get the insights from students. It
That's
They have a great fear of what's going to happen to me
mhm.
because this affects them.
this is all about them.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
maybe yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it really points it out. And also, you know, the town hall, besides surfacing a lot of the issues and a lot of the concerns, it it, it really boils down to, you know, just a couple of things, you know, like the what is the relevance of not only the future town halls that we're going to be put up, but what is the relevance of what came out of there, you know. What came out of here is a really great test bed, or a really great platform for really the, you know, the decision makers like USECs, or, you know, undersecretaries or assistant secretaries can look into, instead of doing all of these ways of trying to put up online surveys, or trying to gather you know, people that would participate in many of the surveys that they're trying to put out. You literally had one platform where we were trying to get as many people that can have internet access to really air out a lot of the problems and put it together and come up with meaningful data,
mhm.
data that can be broken down, can be studied, and can be synthesized to a lot of the concerns, or a lot of the way that the DepEd is trying to go to, you know, really doing that digital transit walk in that sense.
You know, I get a sense that people have the sentiment, or people have the idea that it's DepEd's it's only DepEd's job to think about education. And what's nice about the Town Hall series is it surfaces a lot of it doesn't it gives an opportunity for a lot of other stakeholders to say, I can help with that solution. And that's all. That's what this is all about. Every education is everybody's business. So we can see Yellow Boat of Hope doing that for rural communities. I'm curious about the finance sector. What's the finance sector doing, or what solutions have you heard from people who are not necessarily instinctively part of the education system or the usual donors? Like, have you heard from people who you wouldn't think would help?
My favorite was somebody offered to print materials for free. I don't know if the
Yeah.
person was from an NGO or from a print shop, but
Wow.
as soon as somebody said that, oh, we need printed materials are too expensive, they're like, oh, well, oh, you need printed material? Sure.
That's
What do you
brilliant.
need printed?
That's fine. That's
It
fine.
was funny. It was
In
funny.
one, yeah, in one of the comment section, there were people offering their gadgets. I have
Mm-hmm.
a second-hand laptops. Where do I send? So
Mhm.
there's really people who wanted to help, and it's really just finding the platform for them to go on board. And what this town hall meeting did was to give ownership to
Mhm.
everyone. Like, education is a problem of everyone. It's not only of DepEd, and education affects all of us, and therefore it's everyone's problem. And so, like what Nikki said, everybody has ready answers actually during Town Hall 1. They're like, hey, we found a solution for that. Can I expound? I mean,
Uh-huh.
they can use that, but we were holding them off because we wanted we wanted the
Uh-huh.
problem to surface. What I could not forget Nanay Dayan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was concerned at first that she might be timid because
Mm-hmm.
it's her first time to face a big audience. Probably just staring on her computer is challenging enough. But she was able to bring out a lot of issues that had a lot of people nodding. Even funders and even teachers were like, oh no, we did not realize that. And she was able to put that across, and she really represented the mothers in challenged communities, and that was really very satisfying. For that alone, I think the town hall was
Clear
successful.
na. Yeah. Speaking of success, we have a comment here from one of our viewers now, from Clarice Vestesio. I watched your first town hall and I like your idea of inviting different stakeholders from Mindanao, Baguio City, and different provinces, professionals, parents, etc. Congratulations. Keep it up po. Looking forward to the second town hall on Saturday. Good
Yeah.
job, guys.
We'd also like to point out that, as you know, I mean, as students of Asian Institute of Management, Nikki and Arlene being, alums of the alumnus of the program, that what we'd like to say is the town hall itself, it really is what we call bridging leadership. We convened all the stakeholders that we can possibly get to talk about the societal divide or the issues of society, to take ownership of it.
Mhm.
And with that, as they say, we took co-ownership of it, and then we talked about the problem. What is the problem? Uh, Now we're in the last part of it, which is trying to find solutions to co-create, the solutions that's gonna come out of the town hall. It's
Mhm.
literally the whole journey of from me to we, as they say in
Yes.
bridging
Well,
leadership.
that's actually good. It's the last part of the education
Mm.
series. One of our audiences asked, "Will AIM in their CM come up with a playbook for the education sector that contains the outputs of the town hall?" Hi,
Thank you, Mark.
a
Mark
playbook.
Plaza,
Check the
for that
website, Nikki.
Thank
They
you
can
for that
always
question.
check the AAIM Situation Room website. We will try to do our best to synthesize, to come up with the summary of Town Hall 1, so we can put it up as a situation report. But hopefully, whatever comes out of this one will come out as a suggested policy brief based on the learnings that we've gotten from that from Town Hall 2 that's coming up soon. People will be very surprised. Doc Anton is just trying to be quiet, but Doc Anton has invited some very important and not only important but also reliable, and at the same time really are the people that are trying to make many of the changes that we need in this country, not just necessarily on the decision making side,
Mhm.
but people who actually have solutions that have been implementing it and working together with the government in the sense of our whole as nation approach, as
Whole
the
of nation,
all
yes,
of nation approach that we
always
always
whole
like
of
to talk
nation.
about.
I've heard from Doc Anton and Nikki about which of the speakers really resonated with them. So how about you, Miss Arlene?
Okay. I like Miss Rita Atienza. She is a trainer of teachers. She had been director of the teacher services of Ateneo. She gives seminars to teachers in different schools, and um, she gave me this impression that it's not only the method of learning, but also who is the one giving the uh, teaching. No, it's very important. So she would advise that not only the teachers that need to be trained, but also the parents. And there are ways to do this. And in the process, no, if I link what she said to what Mariana said as a parent, I can see that, there's a big role of, let's say, private sector and even educators to get the parents involved in learning sessions. And I see also that there should be the participation of companies to really allow the working parents to have time with their children, because working from home is the new norm. And if parent is working from home and teaching the children at the same time zone, so which one should be prioritized? So I think it boils down to rethinking education, Philippine education now. It's not really solving all the problems, but having a perspective now, a
Mhm.
new perspective of what education is. Is it about grades? Is it about learning this time? So I also saw the comment of Mr. Michael C., who said that um, maybe right now it's about time that we focus less on grades. Okay. And that's something really struck me, because all the while growing up in school, what's important? It's grades, measurements. But how do teachers really measure? Do we understand the lessons? So I think this is the time that uh, parents would see now, a year from now or a few months from now, if really the students really learned the concepts. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think what I get from you is we also have to rethink about the relationships and the interconnectedness of things. So you have your students at home, and then you have your private companies, and how do you how do you look at the relationship of time at work, time at school, time at home, time of interaction between parents, and it's very interesting. And we are forced to look at those issues in the town hall. How about you, Jason? Which of the speakers really resonated?
There were a lot. I think the best one would probably be like what Ma'am Arlene said. Ma'am Matienza really resonated with me also because the way she talked really a lot about talking about concerns and not just trying to come up with solutions, but really trying to come up with ways to explain the different problems that we have in the country, and then also listening from all the way from one of the high schools in Bohol. It's I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Hagna
Yeah.
High School. I
Mhm.
mean, they were talking about some solutions that that can be actually implemented by the different places where there were a lot of low COVID-19, and at the same time hearing a lot about the point that they were trying to make about really changing the way we see education, talking about the resilience of it, that that how often we have romanticized resiliency. Case in point, when we talked about in Facebook, we see about in social media about this kid who's climbing out a mountain and how it was romanticized that just because this person wants to learn, this guy was climbing up a mountain, when it should have been, why does a kid have to travel, or in the case of yellow book communities, why does a child have to travel or walk 12 kilometers to get education? It was framing the problems that we have and how we see resiliency in terms of education here in the Philippines. And it was really surfaced by Mr. C also when he was talking about maybe it's time for us to look at how we do the grading system, how we compensate on how we measure success in terms of learning the materials that we have here. And we there are a lot of solutions. There are also a myriad of problems. But at the end of the day, it's really about framing it, and the way it was framed in the town hall. It really speaks volume about you know the the ingenuity of the Filipino people when it comes to coming out with real solutions that talk about real resiliency, as opposed to let's just bahala na si Batman.
Speaking of that, yes, Doc, go ahead.
That came really what struck me about the town hall was everybody was full of hope. Nobody wanted to throw in the towel. I mean, everybody was hopeful.
Yes.
Ma'am Cathy, who's a mother, a teacher, and Al's teacher at that, that need the that she has to travel a lot because of the nature of her job. She said, with government and private support,
Yes.
we'll do it. She
We
didn't
know it.
even say it's gonna be hard. She said, I will do it. So that alone, that there's a lot of heroes among the teachers, and there are a lot of heroes even among the ordinary citizens. Somebody
Mhm.
offering the printers, somebody offering to do the printing. I mean, these are small solutions, but to people who don't have a printer.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of solutions, if I can recap what Nikki said earlier that came out of our survey. So after the town hall last Saturday, we came up with a survey. Shout out to Lauren Santiago of Central Luzon, who really helped us populate and get um, people to give feedback to the survey form. Um, Most of what was surfaced through the survey and the town hall were centered on budget, preparedness of parents, and readiness of teachers. So um, we are gonna hear more about the solutions of that next Saturday. So what can we expect from this Saturday's town hall?
That's a good question.
A good question.
That's a good question. After we surfaced all of the concerns, the next question was, okay, who can actually solve these problems? At first, we thought it was going to be just DepEd. It was just going to be school administrators that can solve the problems of education. But when we were looking at the concerns, budget, accessibility, parents, teachers, we had to look outside. Like, for example, the issue of internet connectivity is not going to be from DepEd, right?
No.
So, who do we go to? I don't know if I can spoil who we've invited because I don't know who's in our final list of panelists. But I assure you that those that we invited, we tried to really fit the solution to the problems that were surfaced.
Mhm. How about you, Doc? Do you have any patikim of what to expect on Saturdays?
One thing very nice when we invited the problem solvers, they were on board immediately. When I discussed with them, these were the problem that were presented that surfaced during Town Hall 1. They were very excited because they said they're having a hard time rethinking their education program. And these are big foundations. And they said when we mentioned to them what surfaced during the town hall meeting and who brought out the problems, they're like, hey, we need that because most of the datas they have were done by professionals, and they were teachers from who has the access to internet. So while the town hall, we were able to reach out to the poorest of the poor communities, and these comprise the bulk
Mhm.
of the kids in our educational system. So they were very excited, and we have a lot of foundations coming in who wants to listen and go back to their drawing tables and try to see how they can help DepEd and how they can help individual communities. That's why sabi ko nga, ang swerte naman ng DepEd.
Actually, it's a good platform for partnerships. Eh. This is
Yes.
the whole AIM idea
Yeah.
of bridging leadership, like
Mhm.
creating
Yeah.
ways to connect to each other.
Yes. Yes.
What else can we expect without spoilers? What else can we expect on Saturday, Miss Arlene?
Okay. I could guarantee everyone, and I'm encouraging every my friends also to invite their friends, schools, uh, administrators. This session will be an exchange of ideas, and there would be people presenting solutions, and there will be people who would be affirming, or they would be saying this is a better solution because this is my situation. So the process of coming up with the best alternative option is has a process. It's not like an expert delivering a very direct solution. So we have those kinds of conversations that I think if you stay with us for the 2 hours, and it's 2 hours, because the first session was 1.5 hours, but we feel that
Enough.
this kind of session would be helpful for the
Mhm.
listeners and also the one presenting the solutions. Plus, if we have funders in the group, then they could weigh now the pros and cons of each solution. So I'm very happy because this brings hope, no? The initial issues that we had was like, what are the issues on safety, okay, on quality, and the execution of solutions or making it operational in terms of like the policies of DepEd. But somehow we heard the people speak that there are other issues and solutions would be effective and efficient if it's really heard from the people who are involved. So I'm excited about this, and I hope there would be a lot of people listening. And we had opened the room to educators, principals, and teachers.
You
You
know,
know,
it's
Thank
AJ,
not
you.
what
just
I'm excited about? I'm
yes.
really excited about bringing the problems to a wider audience because Filipinos are naturally helpful people. They want
Mhm.
Mhm.
to help. They want to find solutions. And just imagine is if 60,000 of those who followed the town hall will offer to help one child
Mhm.
or one community. Wow, that's 60,000 children who benefit. I mean, if 60,000 has one extra gadget there who will
Mhm.
give it. So I'm really excited about ordinary people offering solutions to the problem. That's what I'm very excited about.
Some general conclusions of the problems in the education sector is that this is a problem of everyone, and everyone just really wants to help. It's a collective problem, and it may impact the collective future. There are many people exploring solutions, and they are worth looking into. But the main thing is to remember is whether we are students or parents or teachers or CHED or DepEd or whoever, we this is an entire system that we have to work together. And this is not just a problem in a bubble. We can all contribute, and that is the beauty of the town hall series. We surface the problems from the ground and up, and then create partnerships and create bridges to people who can bring the solutions. And thank you. I think this was a very very worthwhile initiative from the the town hall group. Now for the next couple of weeks, maybe Jason, you can tell us about the next town hall sessions that will happen and what to expect from it.
So we will talk a lot more about the societal issues that we have now. Right now, we're concentrating in education because it's one of the most important ones for us to tackle. One of them is also the key issues of what is the new normal? How is work going to be defined? Among them is how are we going to define the meaning of vaccination? What does it mean to be vaccinated?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, another issue is would be how do we talk about tourism? How do we talk about business continuity? These are problems that are going to arise and are already being asked by some of our panelists and and guests. But to end my part here at the EMDRCM live, I'd like to point out that the town hall surfaced a lot of issues and concerns, and also some solutions that are already being implemented.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, our mission is to help DepEd reach its mandate to
Mhm.
educate those who need to be educated. Because really, it will look out as this: until all Filipinos are educated, we are always gonna be slaves to our problems.
Mhm. Okay, well, we are near the end of our session now. For each of you, can you just give me a last message to the groups that we work with and what we have in store for education?
Well, for Yellow Boat, we'll continue to bridge the gap. And as we have said always there's a lot of things to be hopeful about, and we are on the same boat. All of us are on the same boat. We have to row together because whether we can sink or swim, we're all in this together. So this is really time to move forward.
All right, Miss Arlene.
Um, with all the initiatives that's going on by the team, we feel that it's a big opportunity for us to send this message that nobody will be left behind.
Thank you, Nikki.
So honestly, I understand the fears of the students that resonated with me when I saw the survey because I was homeschooled. So if anything, to alleviate some of the students' fears, I don't know if any of them are watching. I am a product of homeschooling. I am a product of the alternative learning system of DepEd. It's going to be okay.
And lastly, Jason.
I am a product of public school education also. So, I'd like to say that, there's always hope as long as we have access and equitable access to education. And also that, at the end of the day, we are all concerned citizen that we need to do what we can to help solve the solution. And that's what you're going to learn at EMDRCM as the next collaborators and next integrators of the disaster risk crisis management program. Hopefully we see some of you. And don't forget to look at the comments below. You can look at the website for the AIM Situation Room, and also come join us and message us on how you can be part of the uh, attendees for this upcoming webinar and also the upcoming town hall this Saturday. Slots are limited, so hopefully you guys will secure your spot. Thank you.
Okay, and there we have it, the last messages from our guests. It's really a message of hope. Now, for everyone watching tonight, keep on monitoring the AIM FB page, the AIM FB page, the community quarantine, and the Now You Know Facebook pages for updates on the next town hall session on Saturday, June 13 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry, for education under the new normal. We hope to see you guys. Thank you very much and good night, everyone. Thank you, guys.
It's not just simply being able to bounce back. It's actually being able to bounce back better.